as an entrepreneur, we are we have this gift that was put upon our hearts, right? That you you came to this realization that you see the world differently than most. And you keep for probably many years, you found yourself over on this path of the less chosen, um, and you saw that there were all these masses over on the other main path, and they're just happily humming along, being a part of that mass, and yet you found yourself over there. You found yourself alone and thinking differently, and you saw the value of it. And however that worked for you, whatever, what if that was about the way you view your business, the idea of having your business, the way you, whatever the thing is of how it is that you see the world different, that it served you in that capacity. And you embraced it. You went through the process um, to see it in its totality and how it serves you and how it can serve others. And eventually you felt ready to put your shingle out and declare your business for this other way of thinking. And then so many entrepreneurs get stuck in thinking the work is done. But really, it's just beginning, because every time you go and explain yourself, every time you are confronted with new information, or you're trying to put it out to the world, you there's some iteration, some vicious, I call it the vicious loop, but this loop has to go happen again. You have to see yourself for who you were, how you went through that process, and how you end up where you are. And 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 often it's because new information is being brought into the loop that you then have to process it and say, and yet here I am still over on this other side. And if you're not careful in how you are viewing those facts that are coming at you, you could get stuck. And if you are currently stuck, it is probably because of some version of this, that you are not viewing the world through the facts in which best serve you, in through your own filters. All right, so let me tell you how I came to this kind of new version of looking at my own world. So this weekend, I was at a gathering, and someone who I love dearly has an amazing brain for his filter is binary. There is black and there is white, and all information comes through, and he is quickly able to see, does this support my thinking or does it not? And he immediately puts him into his correct bucket, and he is able to then so quickly sift through the information and give it back in an explanation as to why his way of thinking is the only version worth considering. And everything that doesn't support it is a reason why that other way of thinking is wrong and why his way of thinking is correct. He does this pretty much with everything in his life, always has. And it is both brilliant and well, uh, it can be tough. It can be tough to be on the other side of it, especially if you disagree. Um, I'm a little, my necklace is thrown off here. Um, where I realize that I am pretty much the exact opposite. I love to pick up every single rock and look at it from all angles, and consider it and almost weigh it against the way I'm currently thinking and see if there isn't a flavor to it that might add some nuance to my current thinking. And so I sift through the data. I sift I'll, and all of my thinking is then, I guess, somewhat slowed, or my determination of where I'm going to land on a subject is slowed, because while he just has these two buckets and everything is either this supports it or this doesn't support it, and can then kind of quickly give it back and say, and here's why I'm right, and here's why any other way of thinking is wrong. I'm the opposite. I am sifting and evaluating and allowing my view to be constantly shaped and shifted. I think both have value, but I think I'm often, I love a discussion. I love lots of feedback. I love lots of viewpoints. But if it's a debate, and if we're trying to get to who's right, I often don't win those arguments because I see both points of view, or multiple points of view if there's many people in the discussion. And in the past, I think that I've allowed myself to believe that I was wrong, or that I didn't win, at least. At least I didn't win, right? But here's this. But what I've come to see is that it makes me a better person for listening. I'm great at hearing people and being able to give back another way of seeing their same stuck place, but from a place of clarity, because I can see the nuances in it. I can see what the other person can't often, because I have that nuanced positioning, right? And so where in the past, I think I've allowed myself to be in the wrong position, I now can stand firmly in the other, like it's another way of being. And so there are all entrepreneurs who are bringing a new perspective in, and that their service is how you are offering service to the world. Your product, your service is because of the unique way that you see the world. You have to be careful in how you choose the facts that you are seeing and how you are seeing them, because I have allowed these other perspectives to decide whether or not, and then I allowed it to be on me of whether or not I was wrong or right, rather than just being different as I know it to be. I know that I am a different thinker. And yet, in these instances, I allowed myself to be wrong. And that's wrong. I need to sift through and analyze to come to this place of me being who I am, and that is a valuable proposition. Another example is the person who's awesome at looking at the money situation that you're in and is able to see how you can get yourself out of debt. And they can because they've done it. Well, part of the story is being able to tell their debt story. And sometimes in the telling, they can get stuck because there's shame around that past. But it is that very story, that process, that allows them to stand true in what they now know, how they can help. And so you have to own this other path in all of its shapes, in all of the way that the new information is coming at you. It is critical that you see, that you keep it as you go through all of the iterations of how life is playing out, that you look at yourself as coming from this place of this other is serving you and your world. And when you get stuck, it's more than likely coming from this place of other versions telling you, allowing them to tell you that it's insufficient, that you should be over here with those masses. And so you're living the life that you're willing to live. It's a quote from this book, Unfuck Yourself, Gary John Bishop, which I'm just loving. It's so simple and yet such great lines that make you go deep within yourself. And so if you are stuck in your business and you are not achieving the level of success that you want, I ask that you look deeper just in this spot. Stay here, stay in the discomfort, and allow yourself to see where what you know to be true about yourself, how you're allowing other versions of it to tell you that you're not correct. Because it is your beautiful perspective of the world that is serving you. And we have to go through this loop over and over again to see our truth, our perspective from all of the different places of how we take in and how we put out. I feel like I'm so close to getting this point across, but I don't feel like I am. You're stuck not because of your differentness, but because you're not allowing your differentness to feed every area of your life. There are areas where you are still believing that you're less than, but the worthiness of who you are feeds every aspect of where you are on the planet today. All of it, you are worthy. And you need to feed the worthiness on a regular basis. And so looking for the spots in where you question it or you outright refuse to feel worthy, to consider that all of those questions of less than are areas to be healed. And so if there's any area of stuck, it is about exposing it to the light. I hope this is making sense. Okay. Love to hear your thoughts. Where is this ringing true for you, and where can I dig in deeper? Where can we make this expose these dark shadows into the light and allow yourself to see the totality of you, the totality of your business, and how once put into the light can better serve you and your people and clear out any of the stuckness. All right, talk to you soon.